Hey guys, it's Chris again with Nelson Emergency Training. I'm here today to do a product review. I'm going to do a review of the SWAT-T tourniquet. Reached out to SWAT-T recently and they sent me a few free samples. In disclosure, I do have some samples that were sent for free. I didn't pay for the product. I want to do a quick review on that, and I will make it as short as I can. It's a product that I like a lot, so I probably have a lot to say. So you bear with me if I'm just a little bit longer than I might be on some of my other reviews, but I will endeavor to keep it short. The first thing that I really like about the product is the size and weight. As you can see, the product as it's packaged is not very large. It'll fit easily into a pocket or a purse. You shouldn't have very much trouble at all, if any, sticking it in any first aid kit that doesn't come with a tourniquet. I hope that's one thing I do hope I start to see change in the near future, is more tourniquets coming in your standard first aid kits, because there for a long time it got away to where it was a last resort measure and it wasn't really included in a standard first aid kit. Now we've kind of come full circle and we've gone back to, well, it's okay to use those, and that we probably should use them way more often than we did at one point, and it has proven to save lives. So I hope to see that in other first aid kits. But until then, the SWAT-T is an effective alternative that you can just throw into a standard store-bought first aid kit if that's what you roll with, and it would be a wonderful addition to the kit and shouldn't take up a lot of space. Should be easy to do. Another thing that I like about the SWAT-T is the packaging. I don't know if I can get where you can see it. There are these notches along the edges of the package. There are 3 notches on each of the longer sides. The shorter sides have 1 notch in the middle so that you can rip this anywhere on the package really quickly. This is a product that you're going to want to get out of the package and get access to as fast as you possibly can. Obviously, you always want to control bleeding and airway, those ABC, airway, breathing, circulation, boom, boom, boom. That's the importance of first aid. If you don't have that, then you don't have an understanding of first aid and you probably need a class. In fact, not probably, you definitely need a class. That having been said, you can even take it and just twist both ends like this, and when you twist it hard enough, it will open up so that you can just, it's intuitive to open. There's no barriers, there's no ziplock, there's no fussing with a knife or anything to open it, but it does open quite quickly. I have one that I opened up here that I tried out. First off, we'll take this out. I'll get back to this in a minute. It's a tag that comes with it. But this is the outside of the SWAT-T. You see the ovals and circles. As you pull, those things that are ovals become more circular, and the diamonds become more square. That's an indicator. If you'll read the tourniquet itself and the instructions, that is the indicator that you're applying enough pressure to make it a tourniquet. This device is kind of like a first aid multi-tool. Pretty much like a Leatherman or whatever that you might carry in your pocket. It is a first aid multi-tool. It's designed to be not only a tourniquet, but also to be used as a pressure dressing. It can be used as a sling. It has many uses and purposes. Some people have even found uses completely outside the realm of first aid for this device, and I can see how that would be possible. It has been successfully used on both human and canine patients. So if you're a dog owner and you hunt, and things can happen. Dogs can get shot too. Dogs can get hurt too, and it's nice to know that you can use it on a canine as well. It is effective for both children and adults. It can be applied by either a child or an adult. This is something that a child of a reasonable age can learn to do, just like all basic first aid skills. Children can and should learn basic first aid. But, so easy a kid could do it. SWAT-T is so easy a kid could do it. A little bit of information from the manufacturer for disclosure purposes there as well. 2015, the manufacturer says that the Journal of Special Operations Medicine compared the SWAT-T versus the CAT, the RMT, the SOFT-TW, and that it had better occlusion, safer pressures, a 10.4% failure with other tourniquets, and a 0 failure with the SWAT-T in that group. So just a little bit of information from the manufacturer. I do have more information. If you would like some of that, let me know. I will definitely type up some of that and get it to you. Now to this little piece in the SWAT-T. It's a bracelet like you get if you go to the hospital or whatever. and sticks with the glue, or like when you go to a fair or a concert or what have you. And on it, you can document the time that you applied the tourniquet. That's information that the hospital is going to need to know. SWAT-T says it's good for 2 hours. After that, you may have a necessary loss of limb with a tourniquet applied for a long point of time. That's the same with any tourniquet. You can document as well whether or not you had a radial pulse. If you're using it as a tourniquet, you're going to want to document no. If you're trying to occlude blood flow, you shouldn't have a pulse. So, but if you do use it as a pressure dressing, you can mark yes that you did have a pulse and what that heart rate is, and if you know it, your victim's blood type. That's all information that's going to be very useful to first responders and to the hospital when they get there as well. Some of the things about the SWAT-T, from my point of view, my opinion, love it, love it, love it as a pressure dressing. Absolutely. Wonderful. I'm really fond of it as a tourniquet. There are some other tourniquets that I like well too. I haven't even come to a conclusion on which ones I like the best. But SWAT-T is definitely on the top of the list there. I like the multifunction use of the tourniquet. I like that I can use it for other things. I can't necessarily use other tourniquets as much for a pressure dressing. The width is one of those reasons. It is a much wider product, and it does let me use it as a pressure dressing, and I love that fact. So that's some things I do like. One thing that struck me also is it may be a little bit harder to apply the SWAT-T from my perspective, in my opinion. A little bit more difficult to apply in a self-aid situation. It definitely would not be impossible. It is definitely possible to do in a self-aid situation, and it's not something that you should discount because you can't use it on yourself. Any tourniquet has that same point. It would be easier to apply on someone else. But some other tourniquets I think might be a little easier to apply in a self-aid situation, particularly on an upper body part. On a lower body part, you probably wouldn't have as much trouble. As far as a tourniquet with someone else, no problem whatsoever on any limb. So I like that as well. That's something I like about it. And I'll let you know that it is definitely one of my favorites. It's also not expensive. Like I said, these were sent to me free as samples, but they're not an expensive product compared to other tourniquets on the market, just as effective. They are all going to stop blood flow, and they do it just as well. When I tried this on a participant that allowed me to test it on them, doing it at a decent pace, just for practice purposes, it only took me 43 seconds to apply it. And that was 43 seconds to apply it well enough that I did not have a radial pulse, and I did not have any reading on a pulse oximeter. So I'm confident that there was a stop of blood flow. Of course, the owl that doesn't feel good was another good indicator. They let me know quickly that they didn't like it being on there and wanted me to get it off quickly. So they wanted me to check things as fast as I could. But they did do wonderfully. Wanted to let you know that. For the weight and the size, as well as the cost, and the fact that it is extremely effective and extremely useful, and so easy a child could use it, I do give it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. And I think that it would be an excellent addition to any trauma kit or any first aid kit. If you haven't gotten one, and you don't have a tourniquet, or even if you do have a tourniquet, get yourself one of these. They're not real expensive. In fact, you might want to buy yourself several. Put one in your first aid kit, put one in your car, put one in your purse, carry one in your pocket. Especially outdoorsmen, hunters, you're going hunting, carry it. It's orange, for goodness sake. It's rescue orange. It's obvious to be seen, but it just might save a life, be it a human life or a canine life. Either way, it is a product well worth having. Recommend any school teacher get one, throw it in your desk drawer, throw it in your purse. Things do happen. The bad things do happen in life, but this is an excellent item to be prepared with that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, but it may save an arm or a leg. So, there's a review on the SWAT-T tourniquet. Let me know what you think. Drop some comments, opinions. If you need more information, let me know. I'll be happy to do my best to try to get that to you. Thank you, and have a good day, and stay safe.